Hello, everyone. All right, so this is grade 10 applied math here with Mr. Stone. So hopefully you've watched the welcome video and you've acquainted yourself with the D2L site and sort of found your way around. Now, I got to do a little course update from the last video. The last video was from a few months ago, from as you can tell by my shorter hair. Um, so this course, as it's been constructed, as it stands, has way too many things in it. From what I discovered the last time I taught it, it's just there's no way that we can finish all of the assignments and portfolio discussions and the portfolio pieces, the discussions, and everything. So I've really simplified the course. I've broken it down into just 19 assignments that you're required to hand in. And with each assignment, I'm going to make a little video like this to go over the important stuff. So for what I want you to do basically is to go through the course, go through all their notes as it's constructed. They have a lot of really interesting interactive things that you can use to learn these topics. Uh, but I want you to ignore all of the 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 portfolio type stuff, the discussion type stuff. It's a huge headache. If there was a teacher there to help you uh, figure out all these things, it could be possible. But it's way too much. Okay, so if you go on to the D2L, there's an announcement there that has a calendar basically, which breaks down all of the assignments that are required of you. Okay, so for example, here we're in week 1, and you need to do 3 assignments. I know it sounds like a lot. I've set the due date for this to be Monday, but it's not actually that much. Okay, but they're quite simple little assignments, and I'll go over how to get to them and how to hand them in and that sort of stuff in a second. Okay, so today, after this little discussion, this update here, I'm going to talk about Unit 1, Assignment 2, so U1A2. Okay, so let's just go actually to the D2L site. Okay, so here's our D2L site. So this is the site. This is what you should see when you come in. There's this announcement. Hopefully you've read all this. There's the calendar. And if we go down, you can see here. So let's try to complete for the first these first 3 assignments this week. So there's 3 assignments. You can click on each of these, and the first one will bring you actually to the lesson. So this is Unit 1. I'll just click that. Unit 1, Activity 1, and it'll bring you to the lesson. Chrome is sucking up all of my. One second. Sorry, Chrome is sucking up all of my memory, so I'll just close that for now. Okay, so it goes through all these different things. I was being very slow. Sorry. Okay. Hopefully it's done all of it. Oh, no, one more. Close. Okay. So here we are. This is the lesson. It goes through different stuff, and I talked about this in the welcome video. Okay. So, but you can find the lessons through that announcement. Also in the announcement, there is a link here for this is the actual assignment, and you can also go to the actual Dropbox itself, which is where you're going to submit your work. Sorry, my internet is being slow today. So here we go. So this is our first activity, and it shows you. You can actually click on here. This is right now in the teacher view. Your view will look a little bit different, but you can actually click on here, and you can actually get to the worksheet as well. And that's all you need to have for our assignments. Okay, let's go back to Word. No, PowerPoint, sorry. Where's PowerPoint? There it is. Okay, so for each of these assignments, it's going to look the same. Okay, hey, I'm back. So each of these assignments is going to be the same. You can go to that Dropbox, you can find the assignment there, and go from there. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on Teams. I know it's a bit complicated, but I really wanted to simplify it. There's way too many different things to hand in, and just concentrate on these 3 assignments. So right now, let's go talk about Unit 1, Assignment 2. So this is called matching representations. We're going to look at how relationships can be represented using different methods. Okay, and the different methods we're going to look at are either using something called a tile diagram, a table of values, a graph, and most simply just words. Okay, so we can use all 4 of these to represent the same relationship, and we can look at the connections between them. So for example, here, let's start with this tile diagram. There's in the first step, step 0. That's important. It's not step 1, it's step 0. Okay, we want to start at the origin. It'll make a difference for graphing. At step 0, we have 2 hexagons in this case, 2 yellow hexagons. In step 1, we've now added 3 of these half hexagons, these trapezoids, these red things. Okay, so now we have 5 things altogether. And then in the next one, we've added another 3 and then another 3. So in each step, right, we start with 2 here. Now we have 5. Now we have 8. Now we have 11. And in each step, notice that we're adding 3. That's the important piece. Okay, we have our starting point and we have our step pattern, what we're adding each time. Okay, that's actually very important. So we just want to make a point of that. 1 second. So we have a starting point. I want you to keep in mind these things. Starting point and our step, how much we're adding each time, is plus 3. Now notice I'm adding this plus to tell us that we're going up. It could be negative, it could be going down, 2, minus 1, minus 4, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is a tile diagram. Sorry, it's a nice pictorial way that we can represent these things. We can also then, oh, sorry, 1 second. We can then just take those numbers that we just developed and we can put them into a table of values. So again, we have our starting point here, and every time we go down, we're adding 3. Okay, starting from 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's the table of values. That's just taking our picture here and just putting it into a little bit more, like a faster way of writing it, and a little bit more abstract way. And then we can really have fun. We can take this and then we can make a graph out of it. Okay, we can take it to the values. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3 along the bottom. Now notice this is going to be our x-axis. This is our y-axis, we're going to call this. If you get confused about which is which, just think about in the alphabet, X comes before Y. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, X, Y, Z. So X comes first, and we first, a little trick, we first learn to walk. So we first learn to walk, and then when we got older, we learned to jump. Okay, so X goes on the bottom. So this is our horizontal axis. Pardon me for that's really ugly. I'm sorry. Let's fix that. Horizontal. Not much better, but it's a computer screen. It's hard to write on. And this is the vertical. Okay. So then we can then put, this is our x-axis down here. This is our y-axis down here. We started at 2. Even call this a point here, 0, 2, because it goes x, then y. Just like in the alphabet, x comes first. So this is 0, and it's 2 on the y-axis. Then we can go to the next point. This is start. Now we had 1, position 1. We added 3 to it, so we get to 5, and then 2, 8, and then 3, 11. Okay, notice again we have our starting point at 2, and we're going up 3 each time. Okay, we're adding 3 as we go over 1. Okay, now how to make these graphs. Hopefully you guys have heard of something called Desmos, and if not, let's go introduce Desmos for a second. Okay, so this is Desmos. So if you just go to in your Chrome browser and go to desmos.com, it'll bring you up to a website, and it'll say, so let's I think it says start calculating or something like that. It'll bring you to this calculator, okay, and it looks like this. You can move around on this graph, and you can plug in you can put in equations and stuff. What we want to do is we want to make a graph out of a table. So to do that, click on the little plus sign here. Go to the plus, and we go table. We're going to add a table to our data here. So we're going to put this data in. So we went 0, 1, 2, 3 in the X, and then we went 2, 5, 8, 11. And there's our data. Now, if we want to zoom in on this data set, all you have to do is click the little zoom button here. In this data set, in this box that represents our data, if we click on this guy, zoom fit, it'll zoom into our data. You can do it manually if you'd like, but this little button helps us out. And there we go, we're done. That's our graph. Okay, all I did was I took a screenshot of this using a little snip tool, and we're good to go. That's how we make a graph. You can make any graph you want. You can then you can put in, you can do things like, we'll talk about how to do this later, but this we could just go 3x plus 2, and we can make a line through it all. But we'll talk about how to do this later. Okay, but right now, all I want you to be able to do is to plug in numbers to make a graph. Okay, and then for your like if you're in an assignment or something, you can go to what's called the snipping tool. If you go down into Windows, and if you click on the little search button here, this little search guy, and you type in snipping tool. Oops, snipping tool, and you run your snipping tool. You can just click make yourself a screenshot. You go new, and you can. Oh, it won't show me. But there, it'll make you can. It didn't quite get through the video, but I just made a box around it, and I can cut and paste that into wherever I'd like. Okay, that's how to make a graph. So let's go review quickly. We had our tile diagram. We have our table of values. And we have our graph so far. And the last one, very simply, is just words, right? So to make a relationship in words, we can just say, we start with 2, and then we add 3 each time. Okay. Important things again are where we start and what our step pattern is each time. All right. So we have those 4 different ways. So we have our 4 different representations for the exact same relationship here. And we can connect them all by saying, that each of these are a different way of showing the same relationship. My head in the way. Oops, it is. Sorry, 1 second. Each of these are different ways of showing the same relationship, where we start with 2 things, and then in each step we're adding 3. So that's the connection between all those 4 different representations. And basically that's what I want you to do for your assignment. Your assignment looks like this. I think there's 4 different sheets like this, where we have tile diagrams, well, some different ways. Tile diagrams, graphs, or tables of values. You have to connect them all, make yourself graphs. You can write them yourself in here, and then just do a connection. Okay, so fill out those forms. You can do that. You can print these off and then do it by hand, and then use Adobe Scan, and then make that into a PDF and add the PDF to your file. Or you can just, if you have the ability, you can write on it in your computer, or you can cut and paste things, however you want to make this work out. Okay, it is a Word document, so you can edit it as you'd like. All right, so that's all you have to do for activity 2, is that one sheet. Once you hand it in, put it in the Dropbox, I'll mark it, and we're good to go. All right, So hopefully that sort of clarified things on what we're trying to do in this class. I know it's very daunting looking at that course, but really, let's go back here. Where is it? This calendar will basically tell you everything we need to do in the class. Okay, you're responsible for these 19 assignments, and that's it. Okay, now any questions, feel free to ask. Send me a message on Teams, send me an email. All right, so best of luck, and I'll be talking to you later. Take care, guys.